Welcome to Expert Viewpoints, Effective Stakeholder Engagement. In this video, experts share their strategies for engaging stakeholders effectively, list common engagement challenges, and provide tips to overcome them.
Stakeholder engagement involves a lot of things. I think there's a couple of things that are really critical. When you're engaging stakeholders, I think it's really important that you understand what each stakeholder's role is, both in the organization and on the project. And secondly, what their needs are. Why are they a stakeholder? Why are they engaged in the project? What role do they play? Understanding those two things, their needs and what role they play, is critical for successfully engaging with the stakeholder. When you think about what a stakeholder needs, you're able to ask them specific questions about how the project can help meet those needs. When they get frustrated, if a stakeholder gets frustrated, you'll have background information to know what might be frustrating them. So understanding their role and then why they care about that need can help you engage those stakeholders effectively.
Stakeholders can be a real challenge to engage depending on how committed they are to the program. And so I recommend putting together a formal stakeholder matrix at the beginning of your program. And when the work starts, regardless of how small it starts, think through all of the phases and through the entire life cycle of the program, and make sure that you're noting down all of the different stakeholders who will be involved. Meet with them individually to talk through their role in the program. Make sure that you're clear on it and they're clear on it, and document it. And then also, as you continue to meet with them, either individually or in groups, note down what their sentiment is towards the project. Are they in favor of it? Are they there only because their boss told them to be there? Are they people that you could go to if you need help?
To effectively engage with stakeholders, you need to first identify them, you need to understand their needs, and then you need to communicate regularly with them. You need to make sure that the lines of communication are open, that they understand the progress, that they understand if their needs are being met, if the goals of the project are being met.
Engaging stakeholders is absolutely critical. One of the things that you need to remember is the essential steps in stakeholder management. First and foremost, when a program is born, identify your stakeholders and complete a stakeholder register. Define their roles and responsibilities. Make sure that you meet in some way with each and every individual who has a role on the stakeholder register. Walk through their role, ensure their understanding, and ensure that they are able to go ahead and commit and support that particular role as well. In addition, make sure that you take a look at each stakeholder in terms of their current level and their desired level of commitment. You have an obligation to go ahead and develop and apply strategies in a way that will hopefully motivate them to not only commit, but perform the roles and responsibilities that are required of them as well. And a third thing to remember is that stakeholder management is not a singular activity. You don't develop your stakeholder register, your stakeholder engagement plan, and forget about it. This is a continuing activity.
Stakeholders are anyone affected by or who can affect a program. They include the program manager, the sponsorer, the team, the customers, and also the vendors. To engage them effectively, involve them early, communicate regularly, and ensure their voices are heard.
What are common engagement challenges, and how can we overcome them?
Common challenges are misaligned expectations. If you're not communicating regularly with your stakeholders, a lot of times you can get off base, off track, and not have the expectations of them being aligned with what the program is actually delivering. And so to avoid that, have regular checkpoints with them, keep the lines of communication open with them.
There's many things that can go wrong or present challenges. One is just not having a good awareness and understanding of what a stakeholder really needs and why they're a stakeholder, why they're involved in the project in the first place. Sometimes a program manager will see, for example, upper management as really important, but a salesperson or a marketing person is less important in terms of their overall role in the project. And that can create a lot of stakeholder frustration and present challenges to the program manager when they're trying to engage with the people involved in the project. Other challenges involve lack of clear communication. A program manager should be regularly communicating status and provide dashboards, for example, on larger projects for the status of where the product is at any given stage, or even sub areas of project where the project is.
One of the biggest stakeholder engagement challenges that you're going to encounter is perhaps a lack of stakeholders, a lack of individuals to go ahead and satisfy the roles and responsibilities that you need, or perhaps you may identify stakeholders who do not have the capacity, do not have the skills, and potentially do not have the motivation to go ahead and support your particular project. To overcome these challenges, first and foremost, ensure that you have a program vision in your mind that you can go ahead and share. Meet, develop a relationship, and have a conversation with each and every one of the stakeholders, and do it on a periodic basis as well. Maintain the relationship, stay in touch, engage your stakeholders on a periodic basis, and most importantly, let them know that you appreciate the work that you're doing and try to support them if they have any blockers in any way you can.
Common stakeholder engagement challenges are finding time in people's calendars. Everybody is so busy these days, and finding calendar time, especially if you're working across time zones, may be very difficult. You may have to ask some of your stakeholders to take an early morning meeting or a later in the afternoon or evening meeting in order to accomplish that. And they may not always have that availability or be willing to work in outside of their time zone or outside of their normal daily working hours. Another engagement challenge with stakeholders is overcommitment. And so a lot of people want to be involved and they want to bring their best to a program, and they may overcommit and not have clear understanding of either how long it will take them to do the work that they have been identified to complete. And so really understanding the scope of work, having that clear to your stakeholders and to your project teams will help you tremendously in getting their commitment and enabling them to achieve their commitment.
Identifying all the stakeholders can be a tricky situation. We can use stakeholder mapping, which helps us to identify the key stakeholders, understand their influence, and develop a strategy for stakeholder management to ensure no one is missed out. Another challenge in managing is conflicting interest. Each stakeholder may come up with their own challenges of their priorities. So, having a transparency in priority and fostering open dialogue, we can find out a common ground to engage all the stakeholders equally. Another challenge is managing the expectations. Managing expectation is quite crucial. Setting clear, realistic goals and updating the stakeholders regularly is one of the key set of routines to keep everyone aligned.